First of all, thank you so much for making time to attend our webinar. I'm Vanessa, and I represent the business development efforts of Ezzely. Today, we'll cover how you can retain talent with less work on your end. Our field is highly experienced in finding the simplest solutions so you can focus on other important things. Our CEO and founder of Ezzely, Todd Braundorf, will discuss how you can identify these issues and how you can fix them today. Please stay till the end for some fabulous prizes you can use for your employee engagement goals. We're also happy to answer any questions you may have towards the end at our Q&A session. Todd, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. I'll do a short introduction with video, and then I'll take off the video so we can all focus on the slides. Well, again, my name is Todd Braundorf, and I have been in the HR tech field for about 14 years, and we started with a company called Cogno.com, which is an online training marketplace, and then we established Ezzely. I come from a background in consulting and business and technical, although my tech guys would say I'm not technical. So I know my place in line when it comes to that sort of thing. So I think we can get started. I'm going to turn off my video so we can all focus on the slides. And here we go. This all started about 3 or 4 years ago. I was invited to speak at the College of Business at Cal Poly University here in California. The business department had asked me to speak with the students about my experiences starting a business and employing individuals and people. After speaking, the professor ran a group breakout session, and the undergrads discussed what was important to them after they completed their education and entered the workforce, where they looked what they looked for in their jobs and what they would be seeking. I listened, and frankly, coming from a very different era, I was somewhat surprised by their responses. They were candid and thoughtful, really deeply felt responses about what they wanted out of work and indeed their lives. I heard that they wanted a voice in their role and in the direction of the company, and some level of control of their destinies within an organization that they would join. I heard that they wanted a guidance and mentoring, training in all aspects of the workplace, formal and informal. I heard that they wanted to be recognized for the jobs and tasks that they performed. I actually did not hear once amongst the 60 or 70 students in the hall mentioned financial reward. This experience at Cal Poly informed my deciding to build Ezzely. And as I came to understand that in the workplace of the future, things were going to be very, very different. Now, many of you at this event are very high-level experienced HR professionals, and thanks for attending. And at the same time, I in no way compare my insights to the knowledge and understandings you have with the years of training and performing your HR roles. But my business guy perspective changed drastically that day, and I knew that we had to build a different, better way to engage our workforces. You know, while it hasn't been for a long time about cutting checks on a Friday and then saying, see you Monday, we are entering into a new dawn, a new era, where the employees of the future have a whole different set of expectations around what they want out of their work life. And the following are some slides and a group of statistics, some of which perhaps you are familiar with, but all our research solidified our assumptions and led us on this journey and into the world of employee engagement. Here's an interesting slide, and there's lots of statistics here around digital enabled workplaces and if the employees working harder, if they felt that they were appreciated in their current role. But I think the most striking statistic here for me is that 60% of Americans would take a job they love over a job they hate, even if it meant less pay. I think that's really, really a significant piece of information for us to have forward in our workplace.
Thank you so much, Todd, for sharing those data and your experiences with employee engagement. All right, now your participation is very much appreciated. We are going to run a poll. Okay, don't worry, guys, this is completely anonymous. So how would you rate the level of employee engagement in your organization from a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being fully engaging and 1 being not engaging at all. I will give you 10 seconds to answer this question. All right, 5 seconds left. Okay, let's bring out the results. Okay, wow, some really mixed information here. This is very interesting, and this will help us a lot on our end. Thank you so much, guys. All right, back to you, Todd.
Thanks very much, Vanessa. So we're going to get right to the crux and the title of this webinar. Why do they jump ship? Okay, here is the information from the Work Institute. The 22 out of the 100 employees that leave, that being 100 employees that have actually left, say career development. And this goes back to what I heard them say at Cal Poly a couple of years back. Not only do they want training, they want mentorship and communication with recognized successful leaders and mentors to guide them. And here we go, work-life balance, excuse me. I think that we can all acknowledge that the last few years have really recalibrated how people perceive their work-life balance. And I think that this data here is telling us that individuals in the workplace seek a fluid experience where work is integrated into their daily lives. You can define this in many ways, depending on the scope of your workplace. It might mean the limited PTO, or the ability to work from home, or the ability to communicate a critical message on a smartphone while watching their kids on the playground. Perhaps an easy way to swap shifts or share a personal experience with their work friends. Manager behavior. While showing respect for management is a component of this, staff want dignity to feel respected by management. Now, of course, we all know that the days of outbursts in the workplace are not, if not completely gone, certainly on their way out. And beyond this, a level of civil decency is now an expectation that is shared by all in the workplace. See, compensation and benefits. This is interesting. It's the lowest number here, almost the lowest after well-being. Interesting number. 9 out of 100 who left say this is why. And while it's only 10%, this is a revealing statistic because just throwing just throwing money at the issue is not a long-term solution. And finally, well-being. This can be translated to mean a lot of things. And I'm no psychologist, but it's widely reported that the prescription of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications are at an all-time high, not the least of all reasons because of the demands placed on individuals in the workplace. So again, going back to dignity, respect, and recognition help to address these concerns.
All right, thank you very much, Todd, for covering those 5 reasons why employees jump ship. It's really important to know, and sometimes some of these problems are right in front of you, and it's okay. All we have to do is just analyze and take a good look at them and take action. It's never too late. All right, now we're going to move on to our second poll. This is for all of you employees. Do the managers and leaders in your organization understand how to engage with their teams? Yes, no, or not sure? I will give you 10 seconds to answer this question. All right, 5 seconds left. Okay, let's bring out the results and see what your employees have to say. All right, it's all tied. This is pretty cool, pretty interesting. Okay, don't worry. If you've answered no or maybe, there's still more information that we're going to cover from now on. Todd, the floor is back to you.
Thanks very much, Vanessa. So here we get, from those data, we understand that employee morale is suffering, and most organizations, large and small, are not identifying the real issues. Going back to not investing enough in company training, again, informally and formally. Of course, poor hiring process. I know it's difficult to find folks, but just finding bodies to fill spots doesn't work either. Ineffective communication and recognition. This goes back to people's expectations of what the world has to offer now in terms of communication. And of course, lacking opportunities for growth. Folks want to see a career path, or at least a path within the tasks that they're doing. And it actually gets worse. I don't know if any of you have heard this new phenomenon, but it's called quiet quitting. And there's an article here and a link Vanessa is going to put in the chat, but it was in the Washington Post. I think it was last week or week before. where folks just do the least possible amount of work. So they don't actually quit. They just do as little as possible until one day management gets around to letting them go. 21% of, here's a great stat, 21% of working Americans say that they are quiet quitters, according to an August 22 poll. And I think that that's a very, very, very important thing for us to look at and also, engage with in terms of evaluating our workforces.
All right, let's move forward to our next poll. This is for everyone. All right, if I do great work, I know that it will be recognized. This shouldn't be so hard to think. True, false, or maybe? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer this question. Okay, 5 seconds left. All right, let's see what everyone has to say. All right, some positive feedback going back here. Okay, thank you very much. Back to you, Todd.
Thanks very much. And I think that there's a really interesting statistic here that 69% of all employees state that they'd work harder if their extra effort was recognized. So let's go back to this whole concept of employee engagement. Where did it come from? It was developed by a psychologist by the name of William Kahn, and I suggest you go and Google his name. Very interesting work. And I mean, from a psychologist's perspective, he looked at what it takes for individuals to harness their full self at work. And here's the 3 major points that he addressed. Meaningfulness. Does an employee find their work meaningful enough to warrant them engaging? Safety. Does the employee feel safe bringing their full self to work emotionally without the risk of negative consequences? And availability. Does the employee feel mentally and physically able to harness their full self at any particular moment? Very interesting studies that he did, and it's all over the web, so you can check him out, William Kahn. Of course, now, how high turnover rates hurt your organization? There's resentment and burnout as workers scramble to make up for a person who's gone. Of course, that is particularly difficult in smaller organizations. Internal rumblings, and with malcontent or discontent employees talk and tends to create a lot of discomfort in a workplace, and other people start hearing what they're having to say and can have a very negative impact on productivity. Of course, customer service and quality can really suffer, which is something you don't want to happen. And it just all around causes a lack of motivation and low morale. Low morale equals low profits.
All right, thank you so much, Todd. Yes, as an employee, I absolutely agree with the information you just shared. Okay, let's move on to another poll. I get enough feedback to understand if I'm doing my job well. Okay, whether you're being told on the spot, or how often does your manager or leader tell you that you're doing a job well done? True, false, or maybe? All right, 5 seconds left. Okay, let's bring out the results. Okay, some mixed results over here. Thank you so much for your participation. Moving on.
Thanks, Vanessa. So let's go to the 3 steps you can do today to improve retention rates at your organization. Emphasize training and mentorship. Now, this could be not just formal training, but informal training, brushing up skills, allowing room for growth. If your workplace is task-oriented and it's slow one day or one evening, ask folks to switch jobs. Not only will they gain insight into each other's roles, but they'll start asking questions of one another, why things aren't done in a certain way. The person asking is going to learn something and gain some perspective. The person answering will feel empowered and respected in their ability to respond. It's a small thing, but I think it's worth the 15-minute investment that it would take. Second would be hire talent, not empty spots. Of course, this is a famous Steve Jobs quote. And, while for a minute, I don't think that this sort of techie affirmation is relevant for all workplaces, in a broader sense, it translates into us trying to hire folks, enabling them to bring their best to facilitate success. And everyone comes to the workplace with a unique perspective, whether they come from a military background, perhaps an academic background, or they grew up in a house with 8 kids. They learn something about getting stuff done that can help a business. Engagement empowers people, which is what you want. Finally, communicate effectively and often. Let's not for a minute forget that the advent of the smartphones, texting, Instagram, people have much higher expectation of communication. If they don't see bubbles pop up on their chat in seconds, they grow concerned. And feedback, people expect responses like never before. It's a new world. This is a new process that can inject into your day as a manager. It doesn't have to be time consuming. This doesn't have to translate into some complicated software or designating a new position like a workforce manager. But folks want a voice. They want to share a better way of doing things, whether it's to save money or whether it's to save time or money, or whether it just takes sense. We have one client whose employees decided that it would be better to fill the sugar bowls in the mornings on the tables rather than in the evenings. And management looked at it and realized, yeah, that does make sense. So I think that looking at data that your employees present to you, either on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, and then collating the data can really facilitate a lot of things for your organization. So what increasing retention rates can do for your company? Obviously, reducing spending can keep everyone afloat, helps the company with your competition. Basically, a productive, high-functioning organization builds an empowering, fast-paced, inspiring environment. And that's what you want. Look at the stat here in the bottom. Employers spend an average of 33% of a worker's annual salaries to replace just one employee. That saves you a lot in money. A motivated employee will support you and their co-workers. So finally, to conclude, identify the employee voice and their sensibilities. Analyze at what rates are folks jumping ship and why. Conduct exit interviews. I know that's really an uncomfortable thing to do, but even if you only ask 2 questions, figure out why folks left and then collate the data and then adjust it accordingly. This is a great stat here, again, from the Work Institute. Employees with higher engagement are 4 times more likely to stick around long term. I'll give it to you.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Todd, for the insight. If you've got any questions about today's webinar or regarding employee engagement, we've got a Q&A session at the end. We can't wait to hear from you. Like we've discussed earlier, having the right tools is vital in every organization. The point is to keep things organized, efficient, but very simple. We understand how busy you are, so we've created an app for internal communication that keeps your workforce interactions all in one place. Our app lets your team communicate effectively and rewards employees on the spot for the price of a cup of coffee a day. The activity feed, all right, which is one of our favorite features. Yes, here we go. This is where you'll be spending a lot of time on and where you will be initiating communication instantly. You can share different information on different departments. Stay up to date whether you're in sales, HR, or IT. You can also upload short videos and images. Here, you can also recognize employees on the spot by giving them shout outs and creating posts. Doing this can motivate an employee to stay productive and happy at work. I mean, their workplace is their second home. If they're being recognized for all their amazing efforts and their workplace allows them to communicate effectively and freely, why would they even think about leaving? Let's look at the second feature, surveys and polls. We did quite a few of them today. The really cool part about them is they're completely anonymous, as some employees, just like myself, an introvert, would like to voice out and have opinions, but don't really want to be put on the spot. Polls are great to see how employees truly feel about the company, and surveys are great if you plan to implement new changes in your organization. Let's look at the next feature, training. As we've discussed earlier, the importance of training, it does not have to be complex or expensive. We've designed training to be user-friendly, effective, or maybe even fun. We've loaded some free training within the app, or you may purchase some from our marketplace. Our marketplace has been providing training for small to large organizations for over a decade. If you got your own training, no problem. Upload them within the app and employees can take courses anytime, anywhere with real-time results. Who doesn't love real-time results? Okay, now for the fun part of the app, rewarding your employees. There are 3 ways you can reward employees within the app. If you'd like to reward a specific employee, the roulette feature, as you can see the wheel on the screen, this picks a prize at random. Select the employee you'd like to reward and pick out 6 to 8 possible prizes for them to win. This is perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, or if you've got a star employee of the month. Employees can watch the wheel live in the app. The more an employee engages within the app, like commenting, liking posts, or if they've been rewarded points, they can collect enough to redeem prices in the app. Oh, I forgot to mention, all the prices are fully customizable, whether they're monetary like gift cards or even a half day off. Running a raffle is also a fun way to have employees engage. This is perfect for events or holidays. You may select a period of time, and by the end of a raffle, a random winner will be selected. All right, that's all for me. All right, so the fun part for all the attendees, you guys get a chance to win a $50 gift coupon. You can use them now or share them later with your employees. Give me a minute as I will launch the live wheel.
Vanessa, you're muted.
Yes, don't worry, just a minute. I'm just launching the wheel and finalizing some of the names that are here. 30 seconds more, hang on. Okay, so if you can see my screen, somebody will be picked at random. Okay, congratulations, Katrina Glass. If you are here, please give us a heads up in the chat. Okay, so we know that you're here. Hello, are you here, Katrina? You have won a $50 gift coupon. Okay, great, congratulations. You will be contacted later on your email for more information on redeeming the gift. Okay, it's about time for our Q&A session. If you've got any questions for Todd regarding employee engagement or our Ezzely app, now's the discussion time. If you look above, you have a chat box and chat has been enabled for everybody. Please type in your question and I will read them out loud. Okay.
Hi, Alvin. Can you hear me, Vanessa? I guess I'm off mute,
Yes, I
right?
can
Yeah.
hear you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we actually have several restaurants and chain restaurants using the app. And I'm reading your question. Do you have some attention tips for restaurant industry? We currently have over 200 employees. Some are seasonal. What do you suggest to make them stay longer than 6 months? Well, I think that, obviously offering a career path, offering an ability for some of the front of the house folks that work at the front of the restaurant to take some turns when it's slow in the back of the house is very productive way for them to see and share what each other's tasks are, and it really just empowers the folks and empowers teamwork a lot.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, let's look at the second question from Gina. Can we use in-house gifts instead of gift cards for the raffle? Yes, you can. You can customize all the rewards, and instead of a raffle, they can be half day off, they can be a full day off. I can show you later on how that works. I will send you an email right after on how you can redeem and create rewards. Okay, another question. How is Ezzely different from Slack or Teams? Well, because it's also a communication app, just like we're also a communication app, just like Slack. All right, the thing is with Slack, you can only communicate internally or talk to someone when you need something done, and that's all. But the great part about Ezzely is you can reward employees, you can give them points, you can shout them out on their birthdays or on an anniversary, which I believe it's much more fun and engaging. Also, you can upload videos, like a 30-second video. We have that feature, which is kind of like a reel, really similar. And I think that's great. Okay, I think this is there is another question. Please explain further on how will Ezzely help productivity. Wouldn't that just distract them from the job and them to stay on their phones more often?
I think I can take this one, Vanessa. I think that the horse is out of the barn with people being on their phones, and we're at if you can't beat them, join them type inflection point in terms of communication. So I think that rather than the app distracting people, it actually engages them where they spend more time. I think you could all walk out into your workplace now, and you'll find 30% or 30% of your employees likely checking their phones every 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. That being, as I said, this is not a direct message. So the notifications and videos reside there, so they don't have to be checked instantly, and the employees receive a notification that there is something there for them.
Thank you so much, Todd. I think, all right, any further, maybe we have room for one last question. Otherwise, I think, yeah, that's about it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much once again, attendees, for being here. You will be contacted shortly by me, and I will explain more information on how you can use your free trial for an Ezzely account and make good use of our features as well. And I wish everybody a wonderful day. Also, my contact information is right here. You have my email address, and you've also got my phone number. If you've got questions about this webinar after, no problem. I'm here and happy to help. Wish you all a wonderful afternoon. Bye.